To the men who messed it up with an amazing girlfriend or wife, how is your life now? Every time I see someone who reminds me of her, it's like a gut punch of reality. Same, and it's 3 decades later. I occasionally look at what she's doing, and it's everything I would want to be doing with her. It's a stabbing pain of remorse every time if I allow myself to stop and think about her. Nothing really horrible happened. I just didn't realize she was the only it girl for my entire life until it was too late. Can't go back, so it goes. My life sucks pretty bad. She's doing well, happily married, and has a child, so I'm happy for her. The best thing I ever did for her was letting her go when I messed things up. I still love her even though I've not had any contact in years. We were together a long time, and I wish her to be happy. Broke up due to life reasons, even though we still deeply loved each other. Fell into depression for a few years after that and never quite recovered. That was 10 years ago as of this year. I was in my early to mid-20s when we broke up. I've dated a fair amount since then, but never found that kind of connection again. Every breakup ever has killed me mentally. It's always a struggle until time eventually helps smooth over the pain. Then they just become fond memories. Even bad relationships, I look back with rose-tinted glasses. For people that can't get over their ex, the next person won't be a one-to-one replacement, but they'll be their own unique person, and soon you'll realize they bring things to a relationship your ex never did, and vice versa, and you will value that about them and cherish them for it. My life is pretty terrible. Every ex I've ever had was right to leave me. Well, seems like you are at least being honest to yourself, and that's the first step to improvement. It was definitely the first step to healing, for sure. Taking an honest look at myself and where I was then, where I am now, and realizing I'm not good enough for me. So why would I have been good enough for someone else? Nobody owes you sticking around while you circle the depression drain, you know? Things are looking up. Have a job offer for this year I should be able to accept by the end of the month that actually pays real money, for example. So it's not like I'm bitter and full of regret, you know? I can just matter-of-factly state to the women who were in my life, I hold no resentments and wish them all the best. I wonder how many exes are reading these comments, wondering if the person who messed it up big time with them ever regrets it or misses them. I certainly wonder that at times. I'm very happy, and I'm glad that X ended things, because I'm much better off without him. But I do sometimes wonder if he ever regrets the way he treated me. I don't want him to be miserable, but it would be somewhat nice to hear that he wishes he had been better to me. Things are pretty great. I learned from messing up. It took quite a few more goes to find the right person. Don't protect your ego when you fuck up. Feel things and learn. Hey, I'm actually doing really well now. I've learned a lot from that experience and grown as a person. Thanks for asking. Same, honestly. After breaking up in my late 20s, I spent a year and a half beating myself up over the broken 5-year relationship, thinking that I had fucked it up with the only one who understood and cared about and was attracted to me, and that I was now doomed to singleness forever. I had many reasons at the time to believe that I was destined to be friend zone material at most for every other girl I was attracted to. Then I finally shook myself out of it, resolved to never make the same mistakes that had ended my previous relationship, decided to start talking to girls I encountered in real life, and immediately met my current girlfriend, who I'm now 2 years into a relationship with. I don't make comparisons between her and my ex often, but when I've been prompted to, I have realized she is objectively better in most ways, and my friends and family have all pointed this out to me as well. She is so nice to me and everyone else. Thoughtful, generous, and shares my core values. She's also a solid 8 out of 10 in attractiveness, and I often think she's way out of my league, even though she doesn't think so. I love her a lot, and it's clear she's extremely in love with me too. I'm not saying that we don't and didn't have problems, but we were both committed enough to the relationship to work through them. I guess what I'm saying for other guys in this situation is that if ones exist at all, there are at least a few other ones out there. Probably quite a few. It's not over. Not a man, but I broke up with a sweet and loving man because I was an idiot. I immediately jumped into another relationship with a guy who was the worst one ever, who treated me like shit and showed me how a real bad relationship is. Now I'm single and alone. I moved on, but sometimes I still think about him and wonder how he's doing. I really hope he didn't take it to heart, and I hope he'll have an amazing life. I screwed things up at 18 with a girl I would have been happy to marry. Took me almost a decade to get over her, but in that time, I became the person I wished I could have been for her. Finally started dating again about 2 years ago. Now I'm really ready for my forever. Wouldn't have it any other way. I actually know how to act right now. Broke up at 19. She was a great girl and turned out to be a great woman. I was hanging with so-called friends. That was terrible. Crossed paths at 32. We hung out and recently engaged, getting married in October. I appreciate her every day. Lost a masterpiece and kept the frame. Wake up each day surrounded by reminders of colors I couldn't maintain, always wishing I could paint over the smudges and learn the medium of patience. Life is now one big study in longing. Nothing beats the beauty of what was once vibrant. Was too young to know how good I had it, so we broke up so I could move across the world to stretch my legs. 4 lonely years helped me realize the world was kinda overrated without the right person to share it with. I moved back and we reconnected, and now there's 3 of us, and I've never been happier. Edit. The third person in this scenario is my daughter, because we got married and had a kid. What the hell are people reading and thinking we're poly? I miss her. Now I'm losing another person right now. Perfect timing for this post. It was in 2018 the first time. Just reading these comments make me more motivated to keep my sweetheart with me and treat her right. I love her more every day. She was the love of my life, and I still remember the day we met 13 years ago. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it work, and I made some mistakes that I couldn't forgive myself for after 5 years together. So, we broke up. My life is different now. I used to think there would be other women like her, but I've realized now there won't be. I threw myself into my career, moved away for a better job, and travel the world now. I've been to over 10 different countries, make good money, own a rental property in our hometown, and life's been good, on the surface. However, I'd trade it all for a chance to go back in time, see her again, and have another chance. I ruined the chance at even being on speaking terms after losing my mind when we broke up. I realized what I'd done, but it was too late, and she wanted nothing to do with me. She'll always have a piece of my heart. I think about her on lonely nights, when traveling, alone in my hotel, and I still cry sometimes. Not the man, but my husband and I separated a little over 2 years ago due to his alcoholism. He eventually went to rehab, did a dialectical behavior therapy program, and stayed sober and consistently went to individual therapy and smart recovery meetings for over a year. He took accountability for his choices, and then started, respectfully and slowly, courting me again, complimenting me, and bringing me flowers when he picked up or dropped off the kids, cleaning the kitchen when I finally invited him to stay for dinner, etc. The rest was history, and we moved back in together in late October. I certainly can't say every relationship is repairable, and every woman is willing to forgive. Sometimes it's just too late, but very often all it takes is to care enough to put in the work to be better. Gonna read every response until I find my ex. All these men crying around just makes it more painfully obvious to me why the dating scene is the shit that it has become. Most men out there never really do any inner work to become emotionally available again. They'll forever pine for that one phantom ex who either broke up with them out of the blue or they treated like shit till she got fed up and left. How many amazing women they met afterwards, but just weren't her. Yikes. Not saying women don't pull this shit too, but on average, men avoid self-reflection and accountability like the plague and can go entire lives without processing their own emotions. Imagine marrying a man like this, who not so secretly just married you because he couldn't get with the one he really wanted. God save me from a sad life like this. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.